The Continental is the latest prequel series, this time coming from the world of John Wick. With plenty of action and drama throughout, there's plenty to enjoy. If you've finished this one and are looking for something similar, we've combed through the archives and saved you the hassle with our top 10 picks for alternate viewing. Of course, for all the shows we've reviewed, we've also added a handy link so you can check out our full thoughts on that series and see if it's something you want to invest your time with. So without further ado, we present 10 TV shows that should whet the appetite when you've finished streaming The Continental. Gangs of London is a thoroughly enjoyable crime epic and one that does a great job blending graphic violence and big action set pieces with an interesting story surrounding a power struggle in London. The story centers on a man named Finn Wallace, the crime boss overseeing affairs in London, who's shot dead by two nobodies. With no one at the top, a wrestle for power ensues between rival gangs. While the plot does lose its way during the second half and a couple of the characters don't get a great send-off, there's enough to like about this one to make it well worth a watch, flaws and all. Cinemax's latest action thriller, Warrior, is very good. Although it's bound to draw some comparisons to Peaky Blinders for its gang-centric storyline, Warrior marches to the beat of its own drum and is all the stronger for it. With the Hop Way and Long Z gangs on the brink of war, Assam arrives on the shores of San Francisco, determined to find his sister Mai Ling. Unbeknownst to him, she's mixed up with the Long Z, while Assam himself is recruited to the Hop Way following some impressive fighting at the dock. Combining well-choreographed fights, political scheming, and a volatile 1870s San Francisco setting, Warrior does well to keep things interesting and unpredictable throughout its seasons. Violent, gritty, and featuring some seriously well-choreographed fights, The Punisher is a brutal Marvel series. It does suffer from the usual baggage that comes with a lot of these Netflix offerings, especially in runtime, but the action more than makes up for it. The story is simple and revolves around a man named Frank Castle, who sets out to avenge his murdered family. With military background, a no-nonsense attitude, and plenty of action, The Punisher earns his lucrative title. With 2 seasons to get through, The Punisher offers a fair amount of bang for your buck. Nikita features a strong female as its central protagonist, depicting a rogue assassin returning to take down the secret organization that trained her. Where Nikita stands out though is with its action, and there's more than enough tension here to keep you watching through to the end. With 4 seasons and lots of twists and turns along the way, this is definitely one of the more underrated options out there. The Terminal List has all the ingredients to be a surefire hit. High-octane action, twists and turns along with enough treachery and intrigue to keep you guessing. Our protagonist here is a former Navy SEAL officer called James Reese, Chris Pratt. The story opens with a tense, covert mission deep in enemy territory that goes completely awry, leading to his team being slaughtered. With the plan a bust, the soldiers head back to U.S. soil and are debriefed. When his friends begin to die in mysterious ways, Reese quickly learns that there's a conspiracy going all the way up the chain of command. Naturally, Reese begins to investigate further, setting up a kill list as he begins going after those responsible. Much like The Boys, Banshee is a show that completely catches you off guard. With a great storyline and an inspired Anthony Starr in the driving seat, Banshee is one of those underrated gems. The story revolves around an ex-con assuming the identity of a murdered sheriff, but as the narrative progresses, so too does the main premise of the show. I won't spoil anything here, but Banshee is well worth a watch, and with 4 seasons to boast, this one's sure to keep you busy for a while. At the heart of the story lies Jonah, a 19-year-old that finds his life turned upside down when his grandmother Ruth is killed in cold blood. At her wake, Jonah is approached by a man named Meyer, an old friend of Ruth's who becomes entangled in his story after he goes after the man responsible for killing her. Jonah joined this misfit group of fighters who hunt down various Nazi targets, with the wolf and the colonel topping the list. Hunters is a lot of fun. There's some genuinely memorable moments here. Some of the action is really well shot, and the early episodes do an excellent job bringing you into the world. When the soundtrack works, it perfectly harmonizes with the action on screen. There's also some solid action throughout. Treadstone is a 2019 spin-off series based on the Bourne films, with no mention of Jason Bourne here, but a continuation of the same lore and ideas. This show centers on the Treadstone Project. This is the group responsible for creating Super Spy Bourne, and this time they turn their attention to a new protocol to develop unstoppable superhuman assassins. As agents across the globe awaken to resume deadly missions, interspersed around this timeline are flashbacks to 1973 that help to fill in the blanks as to what's happening and why. Do be aware that the season was cancelled, and as such, Season 1 does leave a fair few questions unanswered. However, it's a very enjoyable action thriller all the same. Netflix's Daredevil follows Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer with heightened senses, who fights injustice in the courtroom by day and takes on the criminal underworld of Hell's Kitchen by night. The series is gritty, moody, and incredibly action-packed. It boasts complex characters and a really nice hark back to the comic books of the same name. Charlie Cox is stellar as Murdoch, capturing the character's internal struggle and determination. Similarly, Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of Wilson Fisk is absolutely spot on too. With its mature themes, deep exploration of morality, and commitment to character development, Daredevil is easily one of the best superhero TV shows of all time. With a delicious blend of comedy and drama, Barry is uniquely placed on the small screen. It's a delightfully paced and palpable show that's only been excelling from season to season. The story centers on a hitman from the Midwest who moves to Los Angeles and ends up caught in the city's theater arts scene. Unfortunately, his past isn't ready to stay forgotten. To give much more away about the story would be a disservice, but if you're after a visceral, funny, and well-paced series, this one's an absolute must-watch.